Hey gang, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm continuing to take these incredible isolated vocal tracks. I'm doing a tutorial, an analysis, talking about the instrumentation, the recording process, writing, etc. Next up, Joey Tempest. The band is called Europe, and the song is called The Final Countdown. Right? Before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be cool. I have a singing course. The course is called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where I have a free singing forums of around 25,000 people over there right now talking about how to get good at singing. Okay? Now, it's interesting because I just came off of doing the band The Scorpions, so I guess I'm doing two European bands today. I try to do, like, when I do this, I'll do like 3 or 4 back-to-back in the midst of teaching and stuff. And so I just talked about how the Scorpions Still Loving You, you could hardly go anywhere without hearing, Still Loving You, right? But even more so, you couldn't go anywhere without right? And what's funny is this song, I looked it up. The beginning, before the vocal even starts, is 1 minute and 26 seconds before the vocal even kicks in. I don't know how many songs can sustain that, but this one surely did. Now, I also want to talk about Swedish musicians, okay? I know John Norum was the original guitar player in the band. Now, Key Marcello, I think, took his place or was shortly thereafter. Key Marcello actually played on one of my records called Wake the Nations, which I had a lot of players on there. Richie Kotzen, Jeff Watson, Doug Aldrich, a lot of great players on that album. But the reason I bring it up is because I've had a chance to work with a lot of Swedish musicians, and they're just great. I don't know what the heck what they're drinking up there. Maybe I do know what they're drinking up there, what they're eating. But I know that the Swedish musicians are just phenomenal players. Almost all of them just really, really talented guys. So they're really fun to watch. They're really fun to listen to. They're fun to learn from. And I'm not just talking only Yngwie Malmsteen, guys. I'm talking like a lot of great Swedish guitar players that are just amazing. Matthias Eklund, like just Freak Kitchen, crazy, crazy great. By the way, he also played on that record for Matthias Eklund. Anyway, but I want to dive right in. So let's just fire it up, man. Here we go. This is The Final Countdown.
We're living together, but still it's farewell.
Now, it's so cute because I've never tried to speak or sing in Swedish. So I can only imagine, how hard it is, though I understand it very well from teaching for, I've technically, KTVA has only been around 12 years only, over a decade. But, I've taught a lot of players in my bands over the years from doing a lot of touring how to sing backups to me as I'm singing. And I know that in the Swedish language, everything is like, and everything's closed down, really narrow in the sound. So, we're living together. You can hear the accent immediately out, but he's pretty good at hiding it through the most of it. And I know he speaks, good English, so I'm not trying to, but it's interesting how the interpretation into the English language is. He did a really good job. Check it out.
We're living together.
We're living together, right?
But still it's farewell. And maybe we'll come back to earth, who can tell.
Now, we understand, obviously, it's kind of an apocalyptic end of the world. The world is bust. We're all getting on the spacecraft and we're leaving Earth for some reason. It's kind of what he's saying from my understanding. I haven't dug really deep into it. You guys can correct me, in the questions down below. But all right, so we have this, and then but it's pretty easy. We're living together. Right? He's not like that crazy on it, but the songwriting's really good, and a lot of the Swedish songwriting for the Swedish bands at the time, really good songwriting. I mean, just top-notch stuff. So let's do it one more time.
We're living together.
Good melody.
But still it's farewell. And maybe we'll come back to earth, who can tell. I guess there is no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown.
Okay, now there's some nasality. We're living together. Hey, right? So he brings a lot of mask and a lot of nasality into the sound, and a lot of European bands, especially Northern European, German, up in the Nordic areas, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, those bands, they used a lot of nasality in their sounds. It helps a lot to get a lot of high placement for the space like that. But overall, after a while, it is a little grating. So in my course, I talk about both things: how to get first a nice big round sound, and then if you want to employ or use a little bit of nasality, you can. Also, they were really handsome guys. I mean, and then the song "Carrie," it's like all the girls Carrie, right? So they had a few songs, but they have the swooner songs for the girls. So they're just very handsome guys. They were sort of like the Bon Jovi of Sweden, dare I say that? Anyway, and let's continue. Either Bon Jovi or Joey Tempest is probably gonna get mad at me for saying that, but that's all right. Anyway, here we go.
The final countdown.
Okay, a lot of production. I gotta add that.
Oh, we're headed for Venus, Venus, and still we stand tall. 'Cause maybe they've seen us and welcome us all.
Now, I hate to say this, and ABBA was guilty of this, another fantastic Norwegian band, or Scandinavian band, the Swedish. But there's some cheesiness to the lyric, headed for Venus, maybe they've seen us, welcome us all. So it was sort of like, hey guys, let's write a song about, the end of the earth and interplanetary travel and whatever, and we're gonna throw whatever English words we can in to try to get them connected. And we've seen German bands do this, and by the way, hey, I don't speak a bunch of different languages. I understand some German, I understand some Italian, I understand some Spanish, etc. But I don't speak fluent other languages. So kudos to them for doing that and being able to do that. So shame on me for dissing that. I'm not looking to do that. I am just pointing out the triteness of the actual lyric because I have to be fair about it. We just came off of Still Loving You, and even though there was a lot of simplicity in the language in that song, there was still some genius in taking that simplicity and making it where everyone could relate to it, where this is a little bit more bubblegum for me. Personally, I'm allowed to say it, but the band is killer, the songs are killer, musicianship's killer, the lyrics a little cheesy for me. All right, let's continue.
Oh, we're headed for Venus, Venus, and still we stand tall. 'Cause maybe they've seen us and welcome us all, yeah. With so many light years to go and things to be found, so that we all miss our soul. It's the final countdown.
All right, cool. Now, there's nothing extraordinary about the range or anything, but just good placement, really good pitch, good tone, good melody. Everything just sits really well. The keyboard line was genius. It was just such a catchy thing that it really carried the song, which was awesome. And they did a lot of other songs that were great too. So,
The final countdown.
okay, let's continue.
The final countdown.
He's kind of got a little bit of ha in there a little bit. I like that. That's cool. All right, let's continue. Big, long instrumental break. A long instrumental break.
The final countdown.
Then it goes back into the chorus again.
Oh, it's the final countdown.
Now, I'm going to play it
The
again.
final countdown.
Go to the end.
The final countdown. It's the final countdown. We're leaving together.
Okay, now, I bring this up, I'm trying to point all this stuff out, is because there's not really that much to the song. I mean, I know it's done like crazy great, but I think the genius of the song for me, maybe the genius of the song for everybody, was the repetitive such an epic trumpet clarion call, sound to everybody to get them to board the plane, board the spacecraft. But the song is very repetitive, and it just does the same thing over and over again. But it's the repetitiveness that sticks in your mind because they were able to arrange the song in such a way it actually made you want to hear it again over and over and over again, which sticks in the brain. It's really hard to dislodge that from your brain. I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves, and this is how it goes, right? It's a song that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friend. Right? Those little children's nursery rhymes. But in the end, with the musicianship, with the handsome guys pulling it off, John Norum on guitar, you got, again, great vocals, good, just all around good band. It really pulled it across the finish line and was super epic. So I want to do this, and I'd like to add the track to this. And Joey Tempest, I saw him twice, and he was spot on both times. I've only seen him way back in the day, so I never saw him later. But he was absolutely spot on, did a great job. But let's hear it with the track so we can kind of get a feel for how epic this really is.
We're living together, but still it's farewell. And maybe we'll come back to earth, who can tell? I guess there is no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. The final countdown.
So anyway, it was cool, and you could hear this like in arenas for soccer matches, and you'd hear this, just kind of everywhere you went. That horn line thing was like everywhere. It was ubiquitous throughout Europe. So thank you for joining me. I've got a lot more of these coming your way, and definitely stick around for my next video.